decent battling, the cars held out, but we do have a little bit of extra pace over those two. Up ahead we have a classic Ferrari 250 GTO, again much more of an older car, a lot less assist and stuff like that, so again we should be able to make easy pickings of that vehicle at this specific track layout. Again, nothing really out of the ordinary. However, we're then going to turn our attention to the leaderboard itself. As you can see, up ahead we have an Aston Martin. This is a hypercar class vehicle, and as you may notice, it's holding a pretty standard gap and beginning to pull on us. However, the later we get on the race, look just how much this car starts lifting off. And this is where the issue of custom race AI really comes into its own. We've took around about 2 seconds off of this car in just a couple of corners. Now again, this is a full-blown hypercar. Yes, it's a fairly narrow track layout and such, however it doesn't matter what track you use, the AI will always do this. And as you can see, it's only a little bit later on, we've took the entire time out that car and we've already overtaken it. Now we're going to turn our attention to the car just up ahead. As you notice, it's 7 seconds above, and this is a Group 4 race car. Plenty of grip, plenty of power, should be able to lap this track fairly easy. And again, only a short while later, all of a sudden, this car is completely lifting off to the point where it begins to crawl around the track, nowhere near its actual performance level. Again, this is a Group 4 race car on race tyres, it should have plenty of grip, plenty of power, and should be able to lap this track very, very quickly. So this was brought to my attention by a user in the comments section around about a month ago, and again it's something that's really kind of annoyed me in the game for what is the longest time. Custom races in this game are absolutely awesome, apart from, well, the payout. You can pretty much do anything you want with them. However, if you want a multi-grid race, or whether you just want the same car, all that kind of stuff, you can pretty much set it up. However, once you start getting to the latter stages of the race, and once you start making moves from one car to another, the AI in front will just completely come to a crawl, and it's the exact same throughout the entire grid. It's almost like once you get to around about 50 to 75% of the race, the AI just completely lifts off. It doesn't matter whether you've got fuel or tyre life enabled, these cars will pretty much come to a massive crawl, and it's a huge shame. As you can see here, we're highlighting the Aston Martin hypercar, which you may notice is absolutely just crawling about. The pace drop off once you start getting close to them or start making moves from one car to another is fairly ridiculous, to the point where it's almost impossible to get any fun out of these custom races. And the unfortunate thing is that it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're doing a one category race, a one car make race, or whether you're doing like a track day vibe that I'm highlighting here, the AI will just completely drop off a cliff, and I'm really not too sure why it's doing it. This is something that isn't prominent in the typical single player experience. A lot of the cars are very randomized in those events. Again, when it comes to some of the mission challenges, things like that, this isn't an issue that happens with the AI. It's the exact same with the Sophie AI as well. It's just not something that happens. Unfortunately, at present though, Sophie AI in those races aren't customizable, and they're very specific to certain tracks. So again, if you want to head into custom race, there's a high chance that you can't really make those dream races come true, just to the fact that the AI is completely broken at this point, where it becomes so uncompetitive that you could probably take a Fiat 500 and wipe the floor with a grid of Group 1s if you really waited around long enough. Another race that I tested and tried it in, I put myself on wet tyres in a one mate Group 3 race, and unfortunately once again you'll see that the AI is just completely incompetent. Once you start getting within a certain range of them, or once you start moving on from one car to the other, the entire pack will just completely slow itself down. So it does seem that since day one of this game, when it comes to the custom races in this game overall, that the rubber banding is just completely off, to the point where it is almost impossible to get any proper fun out of this mode. Again, it does seem that the longer you put the race on, the worse it gets. I also tested a 1 hour race with sort of a super take you theme to it around about a couple of months ago, and again it was a great competitive race till around about 50% of the way through, in which the AI completely came to a crawl and I did manage to lap the entire field. Again, I'm not too sure really what's gone on with the rubber banding when it comes to sort of going over from those typical single player events or the mission challenges to custom race. That makes them just so bad. Again, it doesn't matter what type of disadvantage you give yourself, it doesn't matter how far ahead they are, once they get to a almost specific point in the race, the AI will just begin to crawl about like no tomorrow. So again, a massive thank you to the person that highlighted this around about a month ago. I couldn't actually go back and find your comment, I just sort of jotted down the idea. So again, a massive thank you to you who highlighted this one. And again, this is something that has been prominent in the game pretty much since day one. There's just something not quite right with the rubber banding and the AI in GT7 when it comes to custom races. Hopefully this can get looked into and changed a little bit further down the line, and hopefully we can start getting proper custom races with all of those amazing cars that we've collected through GT7. Anyway, have a fantastic day wherever you are. Take care guys, peace.